So, Insomnia hit me. It's actually hit me a little bit this week. Okay. And because of all the thunderous activity going on outside, my dog, who is hopelessly neurotic when it comes to the sound of thunder, woke me up at 10 to 7 this morning because he wanted to go for a walk. I'm like, I just finally fell asleep. But I understand because with his super hyper mutant doggy senses, he knows there's a thunderstorm coming in.
So let's get it out.
So for him, it's like, we don't get out there now, buddy. We ain't getting out there today.
Right. Yep.
Okay. So did all of that. So I was back home because it started to rain. We were done by like 7:15. Like, it's super early. There's no way I'm going back to bed. What am I going to do? I should read. No, you know what? My eyes are blurry. I'm just going to watch something on the TV. So open up the old Apple TV, start bouncing around. I watched Predator Badlands.
Oh.
Have you seen that?
No, not yet.
Oh my gosh.
Should I watch it on the plane?
Go watch it on the plane.
Okay.
It's
I'll watch it on the plane.
super fun.
Okay.
I was just like,
is it a movie or a series?
No, it's a movie.
Okay.
Yeah. This
So
guy,
is there Alien Romulus? Is that a series?
No, that was a
prequel
Alien Earth was the
movie.
series.
Okay, because there's a series that's on FX and some Predator thing or something. Okay.
Alien Earth is the series.
Yes.
But this looked interesting because the little android robot girl looked funny in the previews.
Okay, so there's this guy. I don't know anything about him, but I'm going to have to go and do some research, right? Because I'm kind of digging this. And I was never a big Predator fan.
Yeah.
Okay. His name's Dan Trachtenberg, I think. And he's the guy at Fox who's basically shepherding all things Predator.
Okay.
So they did this movie called Prey.
Yep.
Where there's a predator with Native Americans.
Yep. You can watch it on Hulu now.
Right?
Yep.
And he did that, I think. And then he did this animated movie, Killer of Killers or something like that. It's a Predator movie.
Okay.
And again, this was like a couple of months ago. I'm flicking around on the channels and I was like, oh, I thought that was like a movie. It's an animated movie. This could be interesting. I'll just put on 5 minutes if I get bored, what have you.
Yeah.
And it's an anthology. It's like 3 stories. One in feudal Japan, one in 1950s America, where somebody has an encounter with one of these, things.
And those guys. I hate running into those guys.
Yeah. And I was totally smitten with this, like, oh, this is so much fun. And they kind of open up the mythology a little bit to include the Schwarzenegger movie, the Danny Glover movie, even kind of there's a nice nod to this. And I was like, oh, that's kind of like where this is going. Anyway, Predator Badlands, I saw it was on. I was like, I want to give it a go. I highly recommend it. And look how giddy I am with this.
Yeah.
Why? I'm glad you asked. Because it reminded me, it had all the characteristics and the feeling of a mid to late 1980s, early 90s sci-fi action movie. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Here's the plot. It's a very basic plot. It's nothing unique and original. Okay. It's probably, one of the 7 plots for a story.
Yeah, 3 act.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like, here we go. Immediately jump in. Action, a little bit of drama, a little bit of humor. Not romance, but there's some touching moments. I'm like, there's touching moments in a Predator movie. How amazing is this? There's moments where you're like, oh, and then there's other moments like, wow, that was really violent, but nothing over the top gory, no over the top scares. There's some little jumpy surprises. I'm like, this is brilliant. This is a kind of movie that would have been made when they actually made the first Predator
movies.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you, like me, get somewhat disheartened and frankly just fed up that, there's got to be nuance and subtext and all these. Sometimes you just want to watch an alien running around beating up other aliens.
Wait. Were there explosions?
Yes, they were actually
explosions.
So there's a movie that I started watching this afternoon. Actually, I haven't finished it yet. Alan Richardson, who's Reacher, and he's it's called War Machine.
Okay,
but it's basically Alien if Alien was a giant mech kind of thing that showed up to blow stuff up.
Okay,
right. So he's the Arnold Schwarzenegger soldier character.
Right.
He's got his guys with him. He's trying to protect and all that. So I watched that. I watched the first little bit of this, and I thought, this is Predator. This movie is Predator.
Right.
And with that in mind, it's pretty good.
Okay.
Like, it's pretty. So, well, I also like him as an actor. He's pretty.
Yeah, he's a lot of
great.
fun.
Yeah,
he's a lot of fun.
Watching this Predator Badlands thing, and we don't need this to dominate the podcast, although maybe you both will be like.
Well, I think we're about to pivot and talk about all the Predator and Alien comics.
Well,
possibly.
Well, I was going to mention what I was watching after you're done with this, because y'all are both going to look at me and go, "You just now discovered this," but go ahead, keep going.
Oh no! You see now no. Go ahead. We can come back to mine.
Scrubs.
Oh my!
Really?
You're just not watching Scrubs?
I've never watched Scrubs.
Oh, so much fun!
And so when they did the revival,
which I haven't seen,
everyone is chatting that up. So I watched, because that's the way I do things. I watched the first one of the revival,
right,
and went, "This is kind of interesting." So went back. Started this on Monday, so I've been through the first season.
Right,
you're binging Scrubs.
I'm binging Scrubs, and I'm in the middle of the second season.
Great.
And what was, just the people who pop up.
Yeah.
Once it's 2001, I'm going, okay, what was going on in 2001? Okay, divorce, that movie. Okay, that's why I didn't watch any of this. Maybe I was hoping Heroes would get better, and it never did.
I liked Heroes.
But I did too. But Reverse Flash is JD's brother.
Yes, he is.
Brendan Fraser's role.
And
I know it because I read an ET Entertainment Weekly article about he's talking about that, so I kind of know how that goes. But I was like, the way this show does this is very engaging, very entertaining.
Yes.
But I was sitting here as y'all were talking about, I don't know if they watched Scrubs. I figured you might have. I didn't know if you did.
I watched it.
And I'm just like, how do I tell them that I'm now 26 years later watching? But I'm like this. Well, the only reason I started watching this was because of the revival.
right.
And so I'm like, well, okay, I guess some of my great grandchildren will watch the Office revival when they find it, Parks and Rec revival, Community revival. But
Right.
there I go. I don't want to steal the show, but go on with y'all's Alien versus Predator. I just had to get that out because I was just like, Scrubs.
No, I'm glad you jumped in with that.
Have you read any of the Alien Marvel books?
Yes.
Aliens versus Avengers?
No.
Okay. Super good. It's super good.
I will look at that in a trade form at some point.
Okay.
But the regular Alien comics that Marvel was putting out, I was really enjoying it. And then they kind of, for some reason, they froze it out for a while.
Yeah.
And now it seems like it's in the previews there. They're going to bring it back. So, but this was the, what is it? Okay, boys and girls. That's going to stick in my head now.
Stick it. Sorry, Jay. Hey, Jordan, I told Stephen about the boys and girls thing. So this is your shout out.
This is a shout out for Jordan. Exactly. Well done.
From now on, Jordan, you get the shout out every week. That's the
every time I say "Okay, boys and girls." Now I have to look at the camera
Jordan.
and say,
"Yeah, there we go." You're our free Patreon. That's
so
this is bonus. This is bonus content just for you.
Just for you. If everybody else switch off or fast forward for the next 5 minutes, this is just for Jordan.
If we had a free tier Patreon, Jordan would be the only subscriber.
That's absolutely correct.
Yes.
You'd get a special T-shirt,
Yeah.
everything.
The
Yes,
whole thing.
bravo.
Good job.
Bravo. We appreciate the love. So watching this Predator Badlands, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but you there's the robot woman because you say, okay, she's a synthetic.
Yeah.
She's a Weyland-Yutani synthetic. Yeah. Okay. So this is a big part of alien lore.
Yeah.
Now in a Predator movie. Okay. That's nothing unique.
They've been trying it for years, but they've never done it successfully.
They've never been able to do it successfully.
Well, they've done the verses.
They were good, but there were
no, they weren't.
I like
the
one.
Whole other podcast.
You didn't like the verses like that was in the Arctic. You didn't like that.
No,
okay.
No, it was just exploitative.
But let's keep going. It's not like Jason in space.
Exactly.
Friday 13th.
That's the worst.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. I mean, I like
The Moonraker was excellent.
Are we talking about the Bond movie Moonraker?
Yes, I loved Moonraker so much.
So do I, but I don't want to.
Well,
I want somebody who hates it so I can try and fight it.
It was just perfect for me.
Have a
That was the right year.
that was the first Bond movie I ever saw. My dad, there was this weird time, I think I've said this before, where for like 4 Fridays in a row, my dad took me to a movie.
Right.
I was a kid. And the movies were Escape from Alcatraz, Brubaker, Moonraker, and Every Which Way But Loose.
Fantastic.
And it was just Scott and Dad time.
Yes.
Well, you know, we weren't doing Disney. And
Well, you know my Brubaker story.
I've never seen Brubaker. I don't know.
Oh,
I
man.
don't know what that is.
Okay.
Robert Redford, it's a true story. Robert Redford is a warden being sent to the worst prison, and he goes in as an inmate, spends time in the general population to see how they're really being treated. And then sometime in there, he pulls out, it's like, hey, I'm your boss.
Yes.
And starts making sweeping changes.
That's right.
Oh.
Now, so this is what happened. So I was like, what?
This feels
When I was in prison.
Yeah, no, not this. That was a different movie. I think I was like 7. I have to do the IMDb lookup. Okay, but my dad, and I think we have talked about this before. My dad was quite liberal when it came to, for such a conservative man. He was very liberal when it came to the kind of movies that I could watch.
You're allowed to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I remember my parents taking me to go and see Private Benjamin. Okay. And, you know, that movie begins with Goldie Hawn having sex with, what was the actor's name? I can't think of his name. He's brilliant. He's the comedian, Defending Your Life. Anyway. And of course he dies while they're, you know, in Congress. Okay. And, you know, this is before the movie's even really kicked off.
Albert Brooks?
Albert Brooks. Gosh, shame on me. And this is one of those moments where my mum is like, can't believe you. Anyway, so Dad's like, yeah, it's Saturday. We're going to go to the movies. And of course, I'm like, what are we going to go see something fun? Sure, we're going to go see this movie called Brubaker with Robert Redford. Yeah.
So that's not Gus the football kicking mule.
And I want to see Cat from Outer Space. And of course my mom's like, no, Jim, I don't know. It'll be great. It's fine. The kid's going to learn something. Yeah. And next we'll watch, I don't know, Midnight Express.
This is what prison is like.
This is what prison is like. So we go into the movie theater, and it's funny how, the older you get, the less memories you have of those early childhood years. They do kind of evaporate a little bit. But the ones that are in high def, like crystal clear, perfect recall, are my parents fighting over a movie that was inappropriate for me. Okay.
Nice.
And we're sitting in the theater and we're watching Brubaker, and I believe there's a scene, there is a scene where a guy is basically tied to the prison rails and he's being whipped. Okay. I think we get to that point in the film. And, my dad's just like, this was good. This is a man's movie. This was good stuff, And my mum's like, I've had enough of this. And come on, Stephen, up you get, and we're out of here. And my dad's like, where you go? Where you go? And all this kind of stuff. And so we walk out of the theater, and my mum's like looking around, seeing what else is playing. There you go. Herbie Goes Bananas. Let's go, kid. So we walk into Herbie Goes Bananas halfway through the film, right? So we sit down and watching Herbie Goes Bananas.
I do remember this story.
Here we go. We get to the end, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're going to go find... My mum's like, wait, where are you going? Sit down. Promised you a movie. You're going to get it. Let's go. We sat there, waited till the next showing, watched the whole Herbie Goes Bananas. So I've seen it 1.5 times.
Perfect.
And when it was over, that was lovely. We get up, we go out. My dad is doing laps in the parking lot. Where that bit? And it was just so much fun. My earliest memory of all time, and because I know the year that it came out, I was 3, was my parents taking me to see Jaws at drive-in.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
3 years old. And we got to the point where the Kittner boy gets it, and I ran to the back of my dad's van It's the 70s.
Yeah.
Everybody had a van. Ran to the back of my dad's van, threw a towel over my head, and hid for the rest of the film, which I could hear slightly drowned out by my mom laying siege on my dad for, I told you this wasn't going to be an appropriate movie for him. This shark's murdering people. Oh, come on, it's just a fun monster type of... Anyway, there you go. Where were we going?
We were talking about Moonraker.
Right.
Well, no.
Well, but
we
then
were talking about
aliens.
here's how we got
Predator.
here. This is the path that we
I need
took.
the map.
We were
Where's the map?
We were talking about
map.
aliens.
So,
We were talking about aliens.
Yes,
Then we were
okay.
talking about really bad space movies like
Aliens
Jason.
versus
You know what was really
right,
good?
yes.
Moonraker.
Right.
This is the quality you pay for, folks.
Somehow.
We're going to do this. We're going to get 2 out of this.
I wanted, you'll love this, I wanted a G.I. Joe. I had a G.I. Joe, Kung Fu Grip, okay? And he was naked. I don't know where the clothes went.
Okay.
He was one of the ones with the beard.
Like the tall one?
Yeah, back in the
12
70s,
inches.
G.I.
Yeah.
Joes, yeah. Yeah, they weren't that big. Well, from my
from
diminutive
perspective,
size,
yeah.
this thing
12
is
inch.
huge.
12 inch.
Exactly. Yeah, 12 inches. Anyway, that was a wink to that was
That's for Jordan.
That's for Jordan. We'll talk later, mate. I wanted another one, and my mum was like, no, because I thought you want Star Wars toys. And I'm like, well, I do. But I also want other toys too, like cars and this and that. Yeah, I want G.I. Joe. No. Oh, please, G.I. Joe. No. Oh, please, G.I. Joe. No. Okay, so it was like birthday or whatever the special occasion was. And my mum's like, I've got something for you. And she's wrapped it, and it's a G.I. Joe sized box.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, boy, G.I. Joe. And I tear this thing up.
We're breaking a prisoner warden.
No. The 12-inch Mego Roger Moore Moonraker dog in his silver. This kind of stuff. And I actually thought, you know what?
That might be better.
That's kind of cool.
Did they have the Holly Goodhead?
No, I don't.
That's
Love those Ian Fleming names.
so that
Pushy galore. I must be dreaming.
So, forgive me for asking. As an American child, you were across the pond when you were getting your.
No, this was in Florida.
Oh, was it in Florida? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was saying across the pond, wouldn't it have been Action Man?
Would have been Action Man. Yes. And when we did finally move permanently to the UK that first Christmas, I did get Action Man, and it was the SAS. So the gas mask and the grey hood.
I just watched a
Chino.
long YouTube video about Palisade Toys and
Yes.
Action Man and the Palisade Toys Death Star that caused such a
Yes.
the cardboard thing that caused such a stir over there, but is like $5,000 now in the secondary collector's market,
yes.
which was this cardboard circle thing when they licensed all the toys for Star Wars and they didn't give the license to England to do the one that we had, the little pie wedge.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, that thing blew up. We got X-Wings and stuff. What are we supposed to do? And George is like, I don't know. So they went and made this thing that actually ended up being quite popular over there. They reused the model several times
That's right.
for other but this thing, if you can get it, it's like a Star Wars.
Yeah, it's kind of a holy grail.
Yeah,
type.
but I was listening to them talk about it, and they're just very much like, we kept calling Kenner, asking them about the plans, and like, man, George said no. So he's like, we got a bunch of Marvel comics, and we're looking at those, trying to figure out what a Death Star is supposed to look
That's
like for
right.
toys.
They had toys available in the UK that weren't available here. So they actually went out and created die molds for various things. And that was
just.
I've watched that video. They also did
And if we get really cool with editing, it's that picture right there. I'm just going to leave it right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Jason will add that.
There was
No pressure.
they did, because they didn't have G.I. Joe, so they had Action Man.
Which looked like G.I. Joe.
And then G.I. Joe figures.
They had the Nazis.
Well, yeah, they did. And then they came up with this, it was called Action Force. And it was like SAS Squad and Z Squad. And it was like what if you had G.I. Joe the action figures, okay, but with a British sensibility.
Okay.
And of course, all the villains are like Nazi knockoffs because when you think villain, when you think Nazi. When you think beer, you think Budweiser. But when you think villain, you think Nazi. So anyway, I had another thought. Moonraker, had the doll, loved that. My dad, I don't know that my dad really thought that was a great thing, but he did like James Bond, so he probably didn't have too much of an issue about it. But my mum found ways to kind of insert
send that to me.
British things. Yep, that's the one. Whenever possible. So, crossover, Predator. Okay. So I'm thinking about shared universe.
Okay.
Okay. I like what they're doing. They're doing it very low key. They're very slow little beats. You got the synthetics that we've seen, Ash, Bishop. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're crazy. Sometimes they're, so you get that in this Predator movie, and it is super fun. And I was thinking, like, we're kind of, IP and branding is becoming so important in entertainment. So now, obviously, the Marvel movies, it's all interconnected, and the DC stuff is all interconnected. And it's going to be all interconnected with the James Gunn thing. So now you've got a Snyderverse where you could dive in there and swim around with different properties for a while, and then get out, towel off, and then go to the other side of the Gunverse and dive into there. And I was thinking that Universal tried to do their Dark Monster,
Universe, yes,
which
didn't work.
I haven't seen that, and I would like to, because I find it really hard to believe that Tom Cruise, who usually has, come on, let's be honest, he's kind of got the Midas touch when it comes to picking things to do, that this movie, for whatever reason, didn't go anywhere, and it totally killed Universal's.
So I rewatched that movie recently. It showed up on Netflix or something, that Mummy movie. It is not a bad movie. I was watching it with why do people think this is so bad? And I liked the movie in the end.
If you look at the background of when it came out, it was right around Endgame. And so they wanted Endgame money, and they didn't get Endgame money.
Okay.
And so everyone pulled out because they had the whole universe cast in there, because Russell Crowe was in there. And they had it all built out, but then Universal went, we didn't make Marvel, because didn't make Marvel money. So they immediately fired the guy, Alex Kurtzman, who went over and started Star Trek Discovery. And all. So he went over there and did that with that stank still on him. And he wasn't actually the first showrunner for Discovery first and ended up inheriting it. But whoever the bookkeepers works, you're right. It's not a horrible movie. And Tom Cruise also pulled his own money out when the return on investment didn't hit the way they all thought.
Okay.
Because remember what Johnny Depp was going to be? Invisible Man or something? There was an Entertainment Weekly photo with all of them for movies that hadn't been made yet.
Yes. That's right. That sounds familiar.
But now they're quietly kind of coming back to it, because there's another Mummy movie coming out from the universe. Now they're doing Brendan Fraser's.
They're doing a Brendan Fraser
version. There's another one on the side.
There's another, and they're trying to. And I watched the preview for it, and they're trying to turn the Mummy curse into the Ring Girl kind of thing.
Okay.
It's this little girl disappears in 1960 something, and their parents are following these Egyptian tribesmen and because they were an archaeologist out here, but now they find their daughter. The daughter comes back, but there's something not right about the daughter. So she's like mummied or possessed by whatever. They're kind of using the same spirit that woman was from the Tom Cruise movie, kind of that, but it doesn't look as good as the Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, Tom Cruise movie was great.
It wasn't bad. So,
I want to see the monster from the Black Lagoon, the creature from the Black Lagoon. I want to see that one.
Oh, you guys, you remember, you've seen the Monster Squad, right?
Yeah.
The Fred Decker thing?
Yeah.
I mean, and I remember the Monster Squad shows when I was a kid, where they were kind of, what's that, Sid and Marty Krofft?
Oh, it was there was the Ghostbusters, which, but I know the year you talk about, but Sid and Marty Krofft had Ghostbusters with, the chimp and the two guys.
Yeah, like they spent most of their time like in almost in like a bat cave type setting. But then the movie came out, the Fred Dekker thing. But I always loved the idea of like Wolfman and the Mummy and Dracula, and they're all kind of in the same universe. Like, what an interesting thing that would be.
Yes.
And I still think that there's something to that.
Well, it's also the same thing they're doing with the Godzilla stuff. That Monarch.
That's a great world.
And so to me, it's almost like Universal sitting back going, okay, they got another season. They got Kurt Russell over there doing that. Why don't? Because Alan Moore tried it with League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in a way with Dr. Jekyll, and that's kind of what Russell Crowe was going for. Is he was the Nick Fury of this Tom Cruise universe, but it was Dr. Jekyll. He'd been alive 100 years, and they should have had you're going through, and you remember a scene where they're bringing Tom Cruise and his sidekick through that lab, and you see like the Creature from the Black Lagoon skeleton over here, and you see all these nods to the Universal classic movie. They should have had more courage. I understand movies have got to make money. And you're right. Tom Cruise's name attached to it. If y'all screwed that up, that's on y'all. And Kurtzman took the brunt of it, and then they backed away. But now they're kind of starting.
I liked the movie. I thought it was fun. I rewatched it recently, very recently, and I didn't get it. I don't know why they stopped because it was a fun movie. I thought the idea of Tom Cruise as the Mummy, because the ending is like a little twist. The Tom Cruise as the Mummy the next time, that's kind of cool. So the whole thing seemed cool to me, but
it was just the numbers. That's while as much as I love the Avengers Endgame, what it did for all of us. Thank you. That dollar amount, every studio went, we can do that. We can do that.
I need $2 billion also. Can you do $2 billion?
Oh, you only did 1.8 billion. That's not well fired.
Never mind that it took you 10 movies in a decade to do it.
Yeah, can we just do this?
Surely you would like to think that the bean counters in La La Land would not continue to fall in the, hey, that ET movie made a bunch of money. We got this Mac and Me.
Mac and Me.
We're totally gonna make.
But you remember that because Steven Spielberg wasn't releasing that on VHS. So they're like, hey, Steven's not doing it. Mac and Me, here. I want to watch Mac and Me.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's
McDonald's are on board.
Man, I ate so many Reese's Pieces after that movie.
But you know the funny story about that, right?
No.
They originally went to M&M. And M&M said, we don't want our candy associated with some weird alien kid movie thing.
Man.
You can't have it. So somebody pointed out that, like, well, there's this new thing called Reese's Pieces. It's kind of like M&M's. Yeah, fine, we'll go with that. They made so much money off of that.
If only they could have helped that poor Atari cartridge.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the problem.
Magic landfill.
If you make a game where the full playable thing is you walking your little guy
and you fall
until he falls into a hole. There's no way out of the hole. You could not, that's the whole game.
I know. It's.
Did no one test it at even if you tested the very beginning?
They had to make it in 6 weeks. If you ever watched the documentary, they were like, you have to make it in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And Steven looked at it.
But they fell in the hole.
Yeah, but I found the hole.
I know.
And somehow he stretched his neck and hover up. It didn't always work. Yeah.
There's a game.
It was so depressing.
Not to veer off into this, but it's just too good. It's just too
I
good.
still remember getting that game, being excited to get it, and how utterly devastated I was that I could never get out of the hole.
Well, if you would ever like to replicate that experience, I highly recommend you get the Superman game for the Nintendo 64 that was based on the Bruce Timm cartoon.
Okay, I have played this game.
So
holy crap. Yeah, there is a point, you're in a corridor and you've got to fight your way through it. And I never got past the corridor because you keep getting pushed through the wall and then you're floating in like an endless black nothingness drop and you have to switch your machine off, restart it, and hope it doesn't happen again. And it will always happen. I had a chat with a young lady, I think it was like a GameStop once. We were talking about worst games ever. And she said, I know that game. That was rushed through like they didn't they didn't like fully beta test it or something. And yeah.
Hey, I still have a grudge with the Spider-Man Atari game.
The one where you're trying to go up the build. Okay.
Yes, the Activision one.
Yeah.
If I find that programmer,
Best Spider-Man game still to this day, even with all the miles and the PS5 one that is beautiful.
Go on.
The very best Spider-Man game was the original Wii Spider Man. I think might have been Spider-Man 2, because it used the Wii controllers, and when you're throwing the webs, you're doing this, and it just feels it feels so much like you're Spider-Man, because you're whipping out the
what a truly underappreciated game platform of the Wii.
It was so good.
They just didn't do enough with it.
I mean, that's what I mean.
I think everybody liked it.
Everybody liked it, but the problem was they didn't develop enough software to.
Yeah.
I liked the. I do have a fond memory of two. I have a fond memory of my wife and I playing. I think it was Don King's Super Knockout. It was a boxing thing. And where you got the control and you're doing all this stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh man, we're like, I'm so big.
Those in the original Wii Sports.
Yeah,
those in the Wii Sports.
So it was that one. And then we got Beatles Rock Band.
Oh yeah.
And somewhere I've got video of my youngest daughter. I think she was like 7 or 8, and she had a birthday party. And so her little friends from school, this is in England, came over to the house, and they were playing Beatles Rock Band. And one of her friends, Angel, she's singing, because they gave you the words at the bottom.
Yeah.
This 6-7-year-old girl is singing Helter Skelter. My wife and I are just like, oh, this is so much. Helter Skelter. I go to the bottom of the top and there's something again. And yeah. See, I deliberately messed up the words there because I don't want to get sued.
Yeah. And for me, it was Nintendo 64 GoldenEye.
Oh, that's the game.
Sniping someone sitting on the toilet. That was great.
That was my.
That still holds up.
It does. I still have it.
My wife had no interest in video games her entire life. Couldn't care less. That's boys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there, and I'm playing GoldenEye one day. We hadn't been together. We hadn't been married very long. And she said, what's that? What are you doing? And I'm like, here, have a go. Oh, okay. And she loved it. She got she remembers the award. I think it was like most deadly.
Nice.
You get those awards. And we would play the split screen with the 2-player kind of thing. And she would drive me nuts, because in one of the maps, there's like a grate, and you can hide behind the grate, and there's nothing behind you.
Uh-huh.
So no one's going to sneak up on you. You've got nothing but forward front view. And she would just sit there. And I'm like, no, come on, you can't just sit there. You got to move around. We got to move around that. She's like, no, why am I doing that? I'm waiting for you to come along. I'm like, well, maybe I'll just sit here and do nothing. She's like, okay, I can wait. And she knows I'll get bored.
Seems like this.
Okay, maybe I could just find the perfect angle. And she's just
there.
Ready to snipe there. Exactly. Blam, dead. Okay.
Have you played? There's a game that came out recently that I've started with Angela called It Takes Two.
No, I've not heard it.
So I've got all the systems, because I've in my head I like video games.
You're a game guy.
In real life, I don't have time to play anything, but so I have them, and I bought this game called It Takes Two, and it's a split screen, but it's cooperative. So you're these. Remember the littles?
Yeah.
Like these little people that are like little mouse, right? So you're that kind of person running through this world, and you have to work together. You're in different places, and it's made for 2 people to play on split screen. The only way you can play it, it's 2 people playing split screen, and it takes both of you doing things together in order to progress in the game.
Right.
So sometimes you're together in the same place doing things.
Yeah.
Then sometimes one has to go over here to do something while the other one's over there doing something.
Right.
And you have to do it together. You have to both do your part. It's a super cool little game. And the same company's made a follow-up. I can't remember what the follow-up is, but it's made for sitting down with one other person and you play this game.
I'll have to look into that.
It Takes Two.
Yeah. She I have some of those Lego games, Batman,
Oh,
Lego,
yeah.
and all that kind of
Those are
stuff.
great.
If I'm playing one of those,
Uh-huh.
and she'll be like, "Oh, can I jump in?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." She doesn't want to do the gadgets and stuff. She's
Yeah.
happy to just follow me and let me play the game. She just likes to break stuff,
Oh, it's fun.
and it's like, okay, hey, so she's just smashing the stuff. What else? And then she'll be, "Oh, there's nothing else to smash. Come on, hurry it up. Let's get to the next game."
Excellent.
That's why you said that about a game guide, because my front room, and you may have seen this. I don't know if you saw all of it, but I've got a 6-inch LCD, but I've got an older CRT, and I've got my old Nintendo 8-bit,
Oh, wow.
Nintendo 64, Sega Master, Sega Genesis.
Mm.
I've got a Sega Saturn that doesn't work right. I've got some more tinkering to do.
Do you still play Altered Beast on that Genesis?
I did. I've played that and Sword of Vermilion and Sonic the Hedgehog. Sword of Vermilion is an RPG game. And for Nintendo 64, I've got my GoldenEye, Mario, and Star Fox. Star Fox.
I knew it.
Star Fox. And
How did I not know any of
this is all. It's all laid out on platform. I've got PS1 and
Oh.
a PS2, and I built a switcher.
So what was
So
your PS1 game?
PS1 game.
I've got a weird one. That's my go-to PS1.
So the one that Brant and I spent hours on was the first Resident Evil.
Okay.
Because it was for us, it was a 2-person game because we always need a map reader.
Uh-huh.
And we need someone who blows up stuff.
Right.
So, but we didn't want to buy the strategy guide.
Right.
We didn't want to buy the cheater thing. So there'd be times that I'm mapping and but if he couldn't figure out, because there was one puzzle in Resident Evil where you're in a basement, this alligator comes up and you're supposed to shoot the fire extinguisher, but you have to wait for this little light to flash. Because it always gave you something to line up.
Okay.
And Brant could never time it, but I could time that. But the other things Brant was very good at. So for PS1, it was that.
Hi.
For the Nintendo Game Boy was the Hugh Jackman Wolverine game that came out
Okay.
where you start as Weapon X in Canada. And
Okay.
For the Game Boy?
for a GameCube.
Oh, GameCube.
Pardon me.
Okay, yeah.
Pardon me. GameCube. May have said Game Boy. And
By the way,
that,
my PS1 game,
okay.
Tony Hawk.
I see. I
didn't play it for anything else. I never skateboarded a single time in my life. But the Tony Hawk game, super great on PS1.
And the other thing occupied my time with PS1 was those Atari Classic discs that had all the retro games that you couldn't get on the Atari. Because I didn't have an Atari 2600 that survived. And so I got a PS2, and then that's where the library stopped because I didn't get. But yeah, I've got a little switcher where they're all running in, and I can push a button and go. But I still have to have the CRT for the original Nintendo to work.
Okay.
But then I went and bought a Nintendo emulator so I could do it on a high def.
Yeah.
But it's a little glitchy. But after doing all of that and setting that all up, I've played 30 minutes since in my adult world of setting it all up. But it looks beautiful. You walk in there, it looks like I've got gamer cred.
You're like the greatest AV guy ever.
My grandsons were there. They were like, "Oh my gosh, look at all this!" I was like, "Okay, you can't touch that controller. That's why it's an emulator." Because I can't replace the 8-bit Nintendo without selling a car. But that was so. When you said that, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know that." But there's about that much dust. And I've got like the old South Park turkey game for Nintendo 64, the Star Wars at Walker game that required the extra game module that you had to plug in to expand the memory. Where it's just basically Empire Strikes Back and you're trying to do the snow speeder.
That was a great. The Atari one was great.
Oh, those were
that one
beautiful
because you'd had that little blinking light on the AT-AT. You had to go shoot the light on the AT-AT.
Yeah.
It was good.
So I guess this one is our video game episode. We could
we started.
We're sort of. I think we're doing like properties.
We could, we've never gotten back to the Alien, the Predator stuff. You're
Right,
about
bring it all the way.
Bring it all the way home, and we'll call
Remember
this
that
an
Alien
episode.
game?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, I did. So we've had. So we've got the Alienverse going. We've got obviously Marvel DC. That doesn't really count because that was all. I think that was always like
The superhero stuff was always expected to
Exactly.
be that.
Speaking of Marvel DC,
yeah.
in this previews,
Right.
there is there's a reprint of JLA Avengers #1.
We were talking
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
it.
Yeah.
So
That'll be on the previews episode.
we'll get to
Yes,
that.
because this is 40 minutes.
We're gonna. Yeah,
Because we're going to the restroom break. Yeah, look at that. Look at us. Look at us. Almost like we planned it.
So where were we? Okay, yeah. So Marvel and DC, and you've got the monster stuff, the Kong and Godzilla, and you've got the Alienverse, and you've got Star Trek, and Universal kind of failed with their thing, but they'll probably have another go because it's money
Classic.
sitting on the table.
You know what's about to happen though?
What?
The ultimate crossover. Paramount is buying Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I know.
So we can have the Star Trek DC crossover.
They can do that Star Trek Green Lantern adaptation. That
Star
I've
Trek
never wanted
Green
to see.
Lantern combo.
Or the Enterprise shows up and the planet explodes and they go, what's that planet called? It's Krypton. Hey, there's a lone craft drafting out and they accidentally tractor beam it in and you never get Superman.
Yes.
Because it's too dumb.
This feels like a cute.
What other shared university franchises are still sitting on the table? I feel like I know that whatever independent comic company that does the Flash Gordon, Mandrake, the Magician, Tarzan,
Mad Cat?
I don't know.
Well, that's okay. So, it depends on what is there a universe where you could say Flash Gordon, Dick Tracy, and the publishing, Defenders of the Earth?
Defenders of the Earth. That's what I'm saying. That sounds like the first one.
Yeah,
really.
But
Man, that was a great TV show.
and recently,
Gordon, the Phantom of Ranger.
recently, this was the late 70s, early 80s
Right.
fans. Someone has come out and said that Every Which Way But Loose, Cannonball Run, Smokey and the Bandit, all in the same universe.
I'd watch that. I'd watch that.
Wow.
Can we throw in BJ and the Bear?
I was about to say,
Boy, that's wow. Okay.
Also, no, BJ and the Bear falls into that universe with Knight Rider
Oh, that's true.
and, some of those A-Team.
Street Hawk.
Yeah,
Street Hawk.
A-Team kind of in there, whatever that.
Werewolf?
It's
Yeah.
it's probably in bad taste because the poor woman is dead.
no.
Sandra Locke.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But my wife comes. She'll have to watch this one because she keeps coming up in this
That's
episode,
true.
so she might have interest in watching this one. That sounded so vain. She hates those movies. I mean, Smokey and the Bandit is one of her favorite movies.
But 2 she hates.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's in the same parallel universe as Godfather 3.
I think we covered it in one of our
Yeah.
episodes.
No,
How
it's
much she hates.
She
Like you did
hates-
something special for for Smokey and the Bandit
I
too.
did. I bought her an original one-sheet movie
That's what it
poster,
was.
and she
Was polite.
was polite. Yes, she was, but I didn't realize that.
That was the
No.
wrong movie.
No.
No, her 3 favorite movies: Gone with the Wind, Conan the Barbarian, Smokey and the Bandit.
Okay.
That actually tells you everything you ever need to know about her,
Huh?
really. But Every Which Way But Loose, any which way you can. There's a song that Sandra Locke sings because she's the singer.
Yeah.
She's the barroom singer, and of course she can't sing,
Hmm.
and so that makes it even better. And my wife will sing it sometimes as badly as Sandra Locke sings it, and
On purpose?
it just
Okay.
kind of comes up as a funny barroom buddies, and that's the best kind. Nobody fools with a buddy of mine. I laugh when I'm happy, and I cry when I'm blue. But Sandra Locke can't sing, and you're like, what was Clint thinking? You know what Clint was thinking? My girlfriend wants to sing in the movie. What do I care?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, oh my god, I just sang. And it's going to be on YouTube.
It will be.
Shit.
Hope
The
we don't
song
have
at
to
my house that gets
That's it
replayed
for
a lot
me. Yeah.
is from The Jerk. I'm picking out a thermos for you.
Not an ordinary thermos
will
for you, but the very best thermos that you can buy is vinyl with stripes and a cup built in.
That's how it goes.
That's exactly how it goes.
That's how it goes.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. That's another
Yep.
one.
He hates these cans.
It's these guys.
He hates these cans. Do you remember The Jerk?
Vaguely. I mean, I've watched it. But I think I
it's
watched
so
it once,
good.
But I
Such a good
recognize
movie. It's one of those movies I watched the very beginning, and I was like, you couldn't say that today.
No. Oh gosh, no.
The first line
Yes.
would be like,
that would be
just
it.
not okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a group of those movies you couldn't make. You can't play Blazing Saddles.
Well, you can play it. You just have to have the warning.
Oh,
ahead
yeah,
of time.
or
when he makes all of his money with the Omnigrab, I think that's what the Omnigrab. You get to he's living in that palatial mansion, okay, and there's like an establishing shot where you see his backyard, and it's the same house that Jack Walt in The Godfather lives in.
No,
and they do a scene in that same. So it's kind of funny, like so first Jack Waltz had it, and then of course they killed his horse and he went insane. And then if you shared universe, The Godfather and the Jerk.
Oh, there you go. That would do it.
That would do it. But yeah, is there?
are you saying are there any more?
Is there another shared universe that hasn't been exploited yet?
Well, I told you the one I'm going for.
What's that?
Star Trek DC crossover.
No.
That's gotta happen.
That's
gotta
cross
happen.
thing. No.
I mean, shared universe. I mean, go to
something that hasn't been done.
I was going to say, you go through. Okay, space.
Got space.
So alien monsters. That would be Alien Predator. I mean, that's
right.
building up, but you could, you could maybe get some Martian Chronicles going on somehow. Some H.G. Wells kind of. Because they've tried War of the Worlds kind of things a couple of different ways, a couple of different times.
I think meshing the H.G. Wells stuff, War of the Worlds, with the time machine.
Travel,
So the time machine guy comes in and
there's something
stops the attack.
Yeah, there are some things. There are some things that they could work on. I mean, I think
you need a Western. I think there's some interesting Western crossovers you could do.
There
you
could
go
be
Tombstone with
well, you'd have to pick a character. Like Wyatt. So
Wyatt with the Lone Ranger.
Lone
Ranger shows up
with Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid kind of.
I feel like who's the guy? Oh gosh, I just lost his name. He's freaking hilarious. Did the rant about Star Wars?
Yeah, Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt. Yeah, that's what we need.
I think we need like a Patton Oswalt level rant on something.
Now we had Freddie and Jason.
Yeah.
So there is
the horror movie. You didn't throw Michael in there.
No, but what you did get was the Necronomicon from the Evil Dead was in that, and Sam Raimi has said it's canon. So Evil Dead exists in the same universe as Jason and Freddy.
Oh,
so
Ash could come over.
Totally. Ash versus Freddy versus Jason.
I would watch that.
And I think there was a comic about that, wasn't there?
I think so. Well, see, Archie comics, they keep doing this fun thing where it's like, horror Archie or Archie meets the Predator or Archie. I'm still waiting for that Archie versus Hellraiser. Because one of the kids has got to get the box. I mean, come on.
So you caught in the Mansion of... What is the Madness one? Not Mansion of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness?
Multiverse of Madness.
Okay.
The Sam Raimi, when Ash was there, the hand.
Yes.
You saw that bit in there? That was great.
I think, and of course, it was never officially stated, but I believe Patrick McGowan is on record as saying that his character from Secret Agent is number 6.
Oh, yeah.
I believe.
Wait, what?
So, Patrick McGowan had this TV show, The Secret Agent.
Okay.
It was called Danger Man was it Danger Man in England and Secret Agent here?
Secret.
Well, Johnny Rivers says
I'm trying to remember because there was...
Agent Man.
I remember that one.
The last line from my wife today when she was a little girl, she thought he was singing Secret
Asian Man. Yeah.
And when I hear that song today, that's what I hear. Anyway, he does that TV show, Secret Agent, and
AKA Danger Man.
AKA Danger Man. And what was interesting about that, because he's kind of a James Bondy type, government agent, is that he didn't use a gun because Patrick McGowan is a big no with the guns. So he would rely on his fists and his wits and things like that.
Like Batman.
That kind of, yeah. So that show ends, and his next show was The Prisoner, which is about a secret agent who, tries to quit and ends up on this. Are you familiar with The Prisoner?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I don't remember. I watched it. You guys are just just enough older than me that things are slightly off. Like those are some of those movies I know of, but they weren't like my main movies. Also, like the G.I. Joes, by the time I was buying Joes, they were the small Joes, not the big Joes.
Right.
So it's just far enough ahead that we have crossover, but it's not.
Well, and then like The Prisoner for me, I watched on videotape because DC did the comic.
Yes.
And that's how I discovered. So I didn't get to watch him on there. But I do remember, him saying that. And I also remember Roger Moore hinting that The Saint was in the same universe.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, that was James White. He goes, no, it would be closer to Danger Man and The Prisoner. And so there's a little...
Which means that the Avengers, the Steed and Mrs. Peel can't be too far behind.
Yeah. There you go. There's your
it.
British...
That's the next one.
Yep.
Well, I think they probably need to go like... I would love to see something with classic anime, like Robotech, Star Blazer crossover.
Like you say,
that would be greatness.
We're just singing all the old tunes.
Oh
yeah.
I know, right?
So I rewatched Star Blazers not too long ago. It holds up. Robotech, it's hard to understand what the heck's going on. I still don't know what was going on.
Well, you need to go to our buddy over at Secret Galaxy and watch his Robotech thing, because I didn't realize it was 3 different series crammed into one.
Yeah, it is.
They edited different chunks, and
it feels off. It feels like that's the case.
And then when it got to America, they had to do even more. But the Star Blazers, there's an updated anime version of that. It's like Star Blazers 2021, which is basically the same story, but like in 30 episodes. They
make more sense.
Not more sense, just updated in really high def.
Okay,
and same story basically. And then there was a live action one that I got.
There's a live action Star Blazers?
There is, that was made over in Japan. I got.
It's called Battlestar Galactica.
No, it's Battleship
Yamato.
I got the dubbed version, and it is very true to the original live action because everybody dies. This was called Battleship Yamato.
Battleship Yamato. Yeah.
I've
got it. So the next shared universe should be 90s science fiction shows. Because remember, Next Generation, and then you had Deep Space Nine, and then all of a sudden there was this sort of plethora of kind of BC quality.
Yeah, but
so
I loved them all.
Farscape, Babylon 5, Lex. What was the one? They do the riff on that in the year 25. But they...
No, Andromeda was in there.
Andromeda. I can't remember what the name of that was. Like,
we need something with Buck Rogers.
Oh, Buck Rogers, that's always been quagmired in lawsuits and everything. Everyone's dead in there, and I don't know who keeps suing. Howard Chaykin had a 1 or 2 issue comic run that just evaporated. And
didn't Gil Gerard just pass away?
He just did. He did. Yeah. So I went to watch. It made me want to go watch Buck Rogers.
Okay.
It is not streaming anywhere. You can't buy it anywhere. The only way to buy that is to buy the DVDs, which is what got me to pull my game systems back out. Because I don't have a DVD player anymore.
Right.
At all.
Okay.
I only have the PS5 hooked up on my TV, and I had not done anything with it in so long that I turned the thing on, and it's downloading software for like a day. Why can't I just watch a movie, for God's sake? It's terrible.
Because it's all about the upkeep.
Yeah.
So I think what we've learned in today's episode is that in case there was any doubt, we're all still nerds.
Yep, 100%.
But go watch Predator Badlands. It was super fun.
And there we go.
So we could have done this as a short, not a long video.
Well, we'll do that. We'll do the next one.
But we had some fun here, didn't we?
No, we did.
Bye, Jordan.
Bye, Jordan.